I have been looking forward to today for a long time. I'm so stoked to finally be able to top off this factory, and even more stoked to hit the red button in the hub. I always say that turning on the power of a new factory is my favorite part, but I lied. The tactile feeling, that sound of hitting that red button or sending off a load of parts to the space elevator is truly my favorite part of the game. As you get further into the game, you get to do it less often, and it really seems like an event in my mind. And I have to savor it because I only have 2 more times left after this. That's it. You might be wondering why we're pulling into the jungle here. This station is called Jungle Spires, and it's right here near this nitrogen gas vent that's on the top of this cliff. So this is where we're grabbing the nitrogen gas needed for our fused modular frames factory. So if you've never seen a resource well pressurizer in action, here you go. So this is where we're grabbing the nitrogen gas for our fused modular frames factory. You have to turn on this central pressurizer and the big hole in the middle, and then there's some side vents that you get those little extractors. In this case, each of them give out 120 cubic meters of nitrogen gas, and we need 180 cubic meters of nitrogen gas for our factory, so we have 2 hooked up here. So we're here at our packager here by our train station, and honestly, you might be thinking fluid tanks, packaging, this all seems a little complicated, but it can be tempting to run really long pipes of nitrogen gas because there's no head lift requirements like with liquids, no pumps. No matter how you run your pipes, it's gonna get there. However, especially in this specific case, I highly recommend packaging your nitrogen gas. And that is because the packaging process compresses it 4-to-1. So in this case, we only need 1 packager because we're trying to do 180 cubic meters of nitrogen gas per minute. And so that will work even with a little bit of extra room in 1 packager. One thing that I'm uncertain about here is how many fluid tanks I need. I'm going to make a closed loop. I'm not going to be constantly injecting new fluid tanks. I just made a bunch of them from aluminum sheets. Right now I'm going to put 300 or so in here and see how it works. I think that should probably be enough to keep the system going, but it really depends on how long it takes the train to get back and forth. So this is going to be a little bit of trial and error, but we'll put these in here for now. This is actually the first packager I've ever used. A lot of people will use about 1 million of them in a packaged diluted fuel factory, but I just waited until I got the blenders in the regular diluted fuel factory to do that. I never packaged regular fuel, I never packaged water, none of that. This is actually the first packager I've turned on in my game, so let's do it. And we have it, packaged nitrogen gas. All right, so let's get this train set up with some freight cars and get the route set up on the timetable, and we'll get back to our main part of our fused modular frames factory. Now that we have all of our ingredients together, a long time coming, we can start on the 5 blenders needed for the final step, the 7.2 fused modular frames per minute. So I've decided that I wanted to cap off this factory complex in style with a different design for me, maybe a little bit more pre-designed than I normally do for this piece de resistance. A series of offset stack boxes topped by a drone port. We have 5 blenders, 5 floors here with some logistics on the bottom floor. And so we're gonna build this up today in the video. As always for a big factory, you wanna make sure you know where your inputs are coming from and where they're gonna go in your factory. If you try to do that on the fly, you'll end up with a pretty messy factory. So key is where are they coming in, how are you getting them to all your machines. So we have our fused modular frames coming in here from our manufacturers up there, down through the floor through this little bridge here. And so we'll get those coming in to the system to feed our blenders. Easy. And then here is the input for our aluminum casing. Do that here. All right, aluminum casings sorted. All right, so here's where our packaged nitrogen gas is coming in. So we have an extra belt here because one of the downsides of using packaged liquids, first time ever facing this, is that you have to return the bottles or constantly make new ones. So I'm gonna return the empties and do a little recycling. You know, climate change is real. Got to make sure we do our part. So let me put down the packager. We'll take these coming out and then feed the empties back into that other belt. Now that we have our input sorted downstairs, let's go upstairs and start putting in the blenders. Doing a little pre-work here, lining up some conveyor belt holes for lifts. And we're gonna have a blender on each floor, 5 floors. So we're gonna put in all the belts and stuff first for the actual hard items, and then come back and finish up all the pumps. So we're gonna arrange this in this manner. This lifts coming in from either side. Oh, it's so fun to try to aim these things in here. They really are so easy. It's the downside of the hover pack, really. Oops. You end up drifting around. And you can't aim very accurately. Okay, we got those going in there. So now let's get our lifts coming down from here. We really just need to repeat this 4 more times. Got our 5 blenders in here with our heavy modular frames that are aluminum casings. So now we're gonna get our pipes hooked up and get our nitrogen gas running all the way up here to the top level, to our top blender. It took some serious fiddling, but we have our belts and we have our pipes in here. I devised this system to get the aluminum casings and heavy modular frames up a level, alternating the lifts on which side, putting the splitters in the same place. Makes these floors look nice, the odd floors, but the even floors, pretty janky. We gotta bring them around here. Pipes aren't too bad. Took a little bit to figure out how to get them uniform between floors, but I think it looks decent, and it makes it a lot easier because we don't have to worry about pumps because it's a gas. So I have all these temporary power poles around just to allow me to use my hover pack. But before we do anything else, try to actually design this building, I want to make sure I have a power solution that works to kind of hide these cables a little bit and probably not use these traditional poles. So let me try to figure that out, and I'll see you on the flip side. We're still going to use these power poles during construction so I can use my hover pack, but I think I found a solution for the power. So every floor, we're just going to have a 2-sided wall outlet like this. And then we'll be able to take the power straight up and down. It's in a nice straight line. You can go over here and take a look. Go straight up and down like that. And we'll have a light on each floor right there. That connects to each other through the front of this, like this. And it goes right in line with where the wire will be. That way we can control all of our lights with one light control switch right here. So I think we have a pretty good power solution. If we need more lights on each floor, we can break it off the wall outlets. So we have our machines in, we have our belts in, we have our pipes in, we have our power solution in, not plugged in yet. Now we need to work on the exterior design to get this together. I think I'm gonna open up this first square so we can see the water a little bit better and give us a little shaft that we can use the hover pack up to get straight up there. And then we're gonna make kind of this stacked box design, and we'll see if I actually make it a box, if we make a slant. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll feel it out on these first couple levels and then apply it to the top levels. Well, I'm 100% sure now. What do you guys think? I'm digging it. It's a little bit different from me. Normally I just build it and then design around it. And so I'm pretty proud of this one. I think it's pretty cool. Making 7.2 fused modular frames per minute. But it's not making them yet. Let's go turn on the power and see if I actually hooked it all up right. Okay. It's the moment of truth. Let's turn on the power. Ooh, that's a good sign. Lights are on. Belts are moving. Let's go around to the front. I've made this handy dandy elevator shaft. I mean hover pack shaft. So first, let's check out our unpackager here. Looking good. Getting our nitrogen gas out. Everything coming in. Empty is going out. Perfect. Okay. Casing's going in. Heavy modular frames not going in. Let's check it out. Why are you not going in? It's a mystery. That is a clear window. All right, we'll check this level. Let's see. Our frames are going in here. Oh, they're just going in that slowly because they're only using 1.5 per minute. Excellent. Okay, let's check the lights. Green. 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 And verde. And there. I think that's French. And so this is all coming up here to this top level where I have this drone port. And so we're going to use this drone port to transport our fused modular frames back to our starting area, airport. And that airport is where we can distribute them around the map where we need to, if we want to. Of course, we'll just, for now, probably just put them through a sync just to get the huge amount of points that you get from fused modular frames into the awesome sync. So let's see, have we gotten any in here yet? Okay, there we go. Fused modular frames, if you've never seen them in action, here you go. All right, let's go out here and take a look at this real quick, just to see it from this side. Oh. All right, so from this angle, what do you guys think? So let me know in the comments what you think about this design. I think it's pretty good. It's mixed up a little bit, some mixed design elements. And I particularly like it from this side when it's a little bit darker. You can see in the windows and you can see the blenders and things moving through on each level. I think this looks pretty cool. My nice little touch down here is taking this slant all the way to the ground to make it look like it's actually being held up over here by this slant. Anyways, back to the drone port. And I like how it sticks out up there a little bit. I think that looks pretty cool as well. Fits in there pretty nicely. You can actually cover the drone port up to right where the drone lands. So you can build a roof over it, but I think I like this design and the way that it is here. So let's put our drone in. Let's see, drone. Bang, there we go. All right, let's configure this drone port. So this is gonna be called Fused Falls, which is what I'm calling this factory, FMF. Okay, so we have our drone and now we need to set our destination. So this port, and we want to go to Hauptflughafen Fused Modular Frame. And so this guy should be getting warmed up here. Just make sure I have everything going in the right port. Wouldn't be the first time I screwed that up. Okay, no, that is where they go in. Does our drone port have battery? Or does it have power? It does not. There we go. That is the issue. I never hooked that up. Well, if that's the only thing that I screwed up, then I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so we have 27 fused modular frames. There's insufficient batteries. So I have a central place in the other airport that distributes the batteries to every drone going in there. That's why we fly everything back to the central place. But you need to give it enough batteries just to fly there for the first time. So I'm gonna put in my batteries here. It's gonna take my 12 batteries. is what it costs right away, and then take a couple more as it loads up and takes off, which it's doing right now. We'll see its maiden voyage. Fly, my pretty. Fly. Fly, I say. There we go. All right, see you on the flip side, buddy. Well, there's one very important thing left to do, and that is to get to our airport on the other end, collect our fused modular frames, and then hit the button for this milestone, leading edge production. I can't wait. My little drone has found his way here, full, well, not even close to full, fused modular frames. Come on, buddy, get in there. I'm trying to hit this red button. While I'm at it, check out my starting area. It's like everyone else. Ugly building, no foundations. Thing of beauty. Satisfactory is all about. Like I said, I only get to do this 2 more times. After this, it's particle enrichment. It's gonna take me a while to do this because I need cooling units, turbo motors, and a bunch of electromagnetic control rods. So I'm gonna savor this button press so much. Oh, I'm getting nervous. Anticipation. Oh, the way the lights up. I'm ready.
Milestone reached. Turbo motors can now be constructed in order to build the
Yes!
that improved factory buildings, such as the Miner Mark III. A new project part enables progress to the next phase.
Ah, the sign of victory. There we go. Another day in the life of the Pioneer, sending off another package into space. And Mark III miners are now mine. So that means we can really set up the big factories that we need to polish off this end game. So if you like this video, drop me a like and consider subscribing to see what I have coming next. Until next time, I'm DrLootCrate, and stay stoked out there.